Grand Rising family, it's Shay Seeking from American Aborigines Unchained here on YouTube and Facebook. And again, something random, but I'm hoping that I can uh, share with you guys how deeply intertwined and woven this whole system has been, um, or this construct when it comes to uh, uh, speaking in different tongues or allegories and parables and all these things, um, just in order to just give a false narrative. I mean, it's just deep. Why did they have to go through so much of this for supposed illiterate people? You see, it just doesn't make any sense, right? So again, we're gonna go ahead and look at this. I pulled this up. I was looking for something about the uh, Declaration of Independence. Sorry, it's late, so I'm gonna try to breeze through. So we're looking at this here on Google Books, okay, and it says that this was published in 1894. Maybe I'll show you what it's what do you call it? What the title is at the end, but I don't want to lose my place, so we're just gonna go ahead and start right here. And I'm thinking this is the Declaration. I think a version from 17 something. It's cut off right there, so I can't really see. Okay, so it says, this is just how it takes so long and how it should take a force of us to break these things down article by article and then compare them. Again, I'm never here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm just simply sharing what it looks like to me. And again, sometimes I can only tap in on these particular things, but I wish that there's a way that we could maybe come up with some type of system or some kind of group or something. Because I know that some of you guys are well versed in this, and maybe some of this is just piquing your interest, or maybe you like to solve puzzles and riddles and things like that. So, and maybe you can do them on your own and share them in the group, things like that. But it's so hard for just one person or just a couple of people that are spread apart, doing their own thing to even, put something like this together. So we're just going to show you, I'm just going to show you really quick how deep it actually goes when you're using etymology or a dictionary um, alongside with reading something like this instead of just thinking we know at face value. Okay. So it's funny because I was just speaking to someone about this earlier, and I was talking about the voting issue, and then the fact of the presiding that we're talking about in Genesis 1, and the president and the commander, and all these other things, and talking about fascism um, and the bundling together of the sticks. And sometimes they just have the bundle of sticks, but then other times they have the blade, on the thing too. So even talking about that and cutting off of a nation with this particular tool, allegorical for something else or a symbol, because again, signs and symbols run the world, their world. It's just very deep how it can go, and it's just funny how we're able to see these things all of a sudden. So we're just gonna go right here, and I'm gonna show you what the downfall is, and how with our busy lives, it's just hard. um, I remember reading a book a long time ago from like the 1700s, and I think it was like the Queen of England speaking, and it was saying something about, okay, well, by the time that they find out what has been done, everything is going to be so intertwined and tangled that no one will be able to uh, break the code. And yeah, so I can see what they meant when they said that. So anyways, it says, we the people of the United States. Now we're going to just pause there already, because it's saying we the people. Okay, so again, who are the people? Is everyone on this particular land at this particular time considered to be people? I think not. I think not. So it says of the United States. Now, in order to be of the United States, you would have to be a part of that corporation, maybe owners or something of that sort, or those principalities or rulers or whatever of that corporation. Um, Again, it doesn't even say of America here. It just says we, the people of the United States. And then we have in order, and we have this with the capital O. Okay. So, we're just going to go ahead and see what order is talking about. Okay. So I pulled it up already for you guys. Let's go ahead and look at it. So it's order in etymology, verb. And then it's talking about the 1200s. And then it says ordrin. Okay. Um, hmm and then it says give order to arrange in a role or rank. So again, we're talking about ranking. When it comes to military and everything and forces and stuff, they get ranks. And when it talks to when we're talking about roles, even pews in the church is reminding me of right now. But I don't think that's what we're talking about. I've just wondered. I always wondered why it was set up like that in particular. So anyway, but again, I think the roles are talking about the different sections or classes in the caste system, right? Because those would be ranks as well. Okay. It says from order, sense of set or keep in order. Okay. So set, keep, binding. That's like binding. It's from 1500s, meaning to give commands, commandments, commands. By the commander in chief. Again, is this to the commoners? I don't know. So it says for or to instruct authoritatively, authoritatively, is from 1540. That of command to be made. Make a man like. Mm-hmm. Okay, or it is done. See, done, or to issue. Okay. Um, so down here is saying, let's see. Okay, order. Now, okay, get this, 1200. Okay, okay. Body of persons living under a religious discipline, and we're talking Old French here. Ordre or ordre. Position. Okay, so this is a position of power, maybe. I don't know. Just a position, possibly. A state. Okay, so when we're talking about an estate, someone's estate, like, it's their home or abode or dwelling, place of dwelling or residence, maybe. Um, Again, because it makes me think about land, lords or lords. But anyhow, it says rule. Okay, so again, didn't God in Genesis 1 say to rule over them? Okay, so regulations, religious order, ordin, okay, role, line, rank, series, pattern, history repeating itself, possibly showing a certain uh, dislike or a discourse of a certain group. Because I can see patterns here, even when it comes to some of these so-called psyops that we're seeing and occurring right in front of us in order to obtain your energy and lower your frequency in order to direct it exactly where they want you to. And this is why they're doing it in the first place. And we do fall for it every single time, not as a whole, but many. A pattern, arrangement, routine. Again, this is just routine. It's never going to change. I mean, unless we do something like this and come up with our own thing or something and, divorce these motherfuckers, it's never going to happen. Okay. So it says originally a role of threads and a loom. See how that's going? The weaving, weaving that web or whatever, even that web that you see on your fiat dollar bills, okay? Money, okay? So a role, again, what role are we talking about? Are we talking about the role that has been cut off from the nation as the Dalit or the untouchable or undesirable people in the caste system, where there's enmity between their seed and her seed, meaning America, and they have been lifted on high above her as if they were her to begin? So again, in the beginning, to weave, okay? So when God began creating, see? Mm-hmm. Okay. Primordial, okay? It says compare primordial, which is of an uncertain origin. Let's see. To fit together. Semantically, uh, yeah, that's what it is. Attractive, okay? So it was good, possibly. I don't know, okay? So it says original English word reflect a medieval notion, a system of parts subject to certain uniform. So again, if we're talking uni, I'm even thinking universe or uniting, like uniting, and then the forming of a man also. See, or union. Like they say with your wedding or something like that. Establish ranks or proportions. Okay, these are the commoners, peasants, and servants, the king and the forces, or or the president and the forces, the education system in the church. Okay, so and was used of everything for the architecture to angels. What is that? Angels, again, we know in reference on this channel, we look at them as forces, okay? High up forces when it comes to the ones that we hear about specifically in the biblical text, okay? Possibly, right? Um, let's see, okay, let's see, formal disposition or array, okay? Comes with the meaning fit or consist. Okay. Let's see. Meaning rank, secular community. In the secular community, let's see. Command. Again, somewhat like commander in chief. First recorded in 1540 from the notion that which keep things in order. Okay. Military. Okay, we'll see. Here we go, talking about military. Military and honorary orders grew out of the fraternities of Crusader knights. So again, Knights of Templar. I don't know why lately it's been reminding me of that, but even I was going through some old books because I'm going to go ahead and get rid of some of my books. I have too many. These are more like children's books and other books, not my good stuff. And I saw it was like a Jesus book or something with a little girl, and there was a lamb there, and the lamb had a circle on his rib cage, like on his side, and he had there was a red cross there, and it reminded me something of that. But anyhow, okay, all right. So then the business of commerce again, with the merchants, in the caste system. Money delivery. Okay, let's see. In natural history, as a classification, see class there, class, classification of living things. Now, this is exactly what I was just talking about earlier. I can't remember. I think it was vote and some other terms that we were looking at on my phone. But again, it just keeps coming out to be the same because what it seems like is drawing us back to this as if this is where we should be looking. This is why I like to always go back to the beginning, and everything always draws itself through the biblical text, through history, back to their beginning. And this caste system, that they don't like to call it that here, but that's what it is. Okay, of living things, or maybe creatures, possibly. I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, next below class, and next above family. Or kin, kinship, things like this. Next below class, and next above family in 1760. Condition of a community which is under the rule of law. Improper sequence or arrangement, out of order. Principal mechanical, but not originally. And so home, and therefore my wife is mightily out of order. Reproach, da, da, da. Okay, in order to. Okay, so well, that's kind of like what I think what it just said in that uh, declaration. In order to whatever a more perfect union or whatever. Okay, so anyway, sequence, short order. Da, da, da. Okay, arrangement, disposition of an army or fleet for the purpose of engagement. Kind of sounds like what might be going on in a couple of cities lately, which are starting to sound a lot like what was going on in the book of Revelations. A lot. So, anyhow, let's see, because where'd it go? Okay. So again, order. So again, we look and we see what order is talking about, right? To form. It's funny how we were forming a man in Genesis 2. Just saying. Out of the dirt or the soil. And we know dry land, soil, earth, all of this stuff is talking about the origines or the original people, plants, and whatever else were in that land organically prior to being fondled with. Okay. Now, before these people got here, there were already people being planted in, but that is before, I'm saying, when before the government. Okay, there were already people being brought in and brought out as well. Okay, lots more brought out than brought in when it comes to people that look like you. Okay, unless they were coming from South America or Brazil or something of that nature. Okay, so it says in order to form a more perfect union. So let's see what else we need to look at. Let's look at form, and I'm just going to be quick with this one. Oh, this fucking ad is about to get on my nerves, really. Okay. Physical form, appearance, pleasing look. Oh, remember? See, things that made God happy. He was glad when these particular things, when the lightness was separated from the darkness, he was happy with this. He was pleased. Remember? Okay. So form, contour, figure, shape, appearance, looks. So a man that looked like who? Okay. A fine form, beauty, an outline, a model. Again, a model is different than the archetype. The archetype is the original. A pattern, a design, almost like that's what they have to show us for the slave ships that were supposedly in that time, bringing all of these people over here in abundance. But again, we have to think later on down the line when the other foreigners from North Africa that were lighter view, and different places that were coming in here in abundance from Italy and all these other places. Some of them had a olive skin tone or a darker hue, but again, all foreign entities. Nothing against those particular people. Some of them were Slavic people. Those were the real slaves in a sense. Um, that came over here under that status, but then at some point in time, they lifted them up above the earth and they gave them that way to fly above. Okay. So again, it says design. So what is going on in Genesis? We're wondering here. Sort. Because he separated something from something, right? Kind, condition. Okay. Condition. Okay. A theory of, okay, one theory holds that it is from or cognate with Greek morph. Okay. Outward appearance. Form, beauty, outward appearance. Morpheus. Funny. Physical shape, contour, outline of a person, shape, or of the body. Now, again, we know the body of Christ, okay? They could be talking about his literal supposed body, but then they can also be talking about a group of followers. They could be talking about something of that nature. So, appearance, likeness, imprint of an object, okay? Correct and appropriate way of doing something, because I'm telling you, in that garden, when someone ate that fruit and then God came to check and see what was going on in his garden uh with his merchandise or his stock, he saw that it was doing a back flow, meaning it was going back to darkness, and he did not like that. And this is where the punishment came in, because they did not wash themselves, make themselves clean, or amalgamate or become light, or see. And that's what the thing is talking about. It never said an apple. So why is that? Why? And that's what I'm saying by not being careful. You know what I'm saying? With, well, they are careful not to speak to you in real terms so that you get it messed up at the end of the day. Established procedure, kind of like the establishment. Traditional uses, formal etiquette, instrument of shaping and molding, in a way where something is done, a pattern. Again, they do it over and over again. They did it over on the other continent. Again, they say seven, I see two. But anyway, they had done this already. So by the time they got here, these particular people had divvied up the land and shared things. So again, what can they do? Then they can go ahead and what do you call it? Use some of their allies that they had gained throughout tearing up the other nations or other planets or planes. Okay. And then use that power as well to come over here and say, look what we found over here. Well, we can't do it for ourselves. So again, they give you the perception that these people argue with each other and want to be at war with each other. Again, there's so many other wars that coulda, shoulda, maybe would have happened if this was actually true. But again, they'll give you the impression, they'll have rumors of wars and things like this. But again, these people in particular work together. So if anything is going on, or a shift in power, or a change in power or authority, this is an infighting, and there's a war in the heavens. See, there's a war in the heavens, in high places. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come to warfare in that sense. But again, they're having a fight. They're bickering amongst each other. And so they're spilling the beans on each other. You know how that happens. You know how exactly how it happens, right? Because someone's cutting someone out. It's so funny how they're trying to cut China out. Sound a lot like that serpent. Even again in Revelations. So, okay, let's keep on going. Let's see. Philosophy with senses. Archetype of a thing or a class. Now, what the hell is we talking about? The archetype. Now, when we're talking about the archetype, that may be talking about. And then, ain't it funny how this arc build me an arc? But anyways, I know it's probably not talking about the same thing. We're just saying it. Of a thing or a class. Not a living thing, just a thing. Or a class. Platonic essence of a thing. So they stole your essence. You know, you guys really would benefit from watching, if you don't want to watch the whole series that they did, which was really amazing. I don't know, just because of what it's what it's portraying and what it's actually telling. The Dark Crystal. If you if you don't want to watch the whole series they just did on Netflix, go ahead and just watch the movie from the 80s, I think. And then see what's going on with these different beings and classes and things like this. It's quite amazing actually. He didn't make that much money off that shit with those things looking the way they did for no reason now. See, that's us thinking that it's just some old silly things. But I know if y'all grew up in the 80s, you probably like that movie. One of my all-time favorite movies of the 80s was the damn Never Ending Story. And now I feel like the little boy in that movie. Going between two worlds by using text and reading, a book and seeing something, on a different level. Okay. So anyhow, let's keep going. So essence of a thing, because they were sucking out the essence of these beings. Very funny. I think I did something on that a while back though, too, as much as I could because that they wouldn't let me use the images. So the formative, whatever, document, okay. Oh, a document with blanks to be filled in. Almost kind of like how they filled in the blanks when it came to filling the earth. Okay. So it says here, systematic or orderly arrangement, arranged marriages. I don't know. Because they did have governors in different localities, because we know that everything, the patterns, the maps change so much over time, but they did have a sense of governors or whatever, priesthoods or whatever in certain areas. So it says arrangement, okay, mere ceremony. So is that what we're saying? So again, when I'm telling you the wedlock we're talking about, okay, the wedding, becoming the bride, America, the origin of America, the organic forms of America are the woman. That is talking about the mother, the child, the son. Anything that's organic to a place prior to their dealings would be the bride. Remember, we looked at Abraham Lincoln's family tree, and it said that his grandfather was a husbandman. Those are the husbandmen that came here to consume or eat or see begot or beget people, okay, uh, uh, beings, okay, land and resources. Bottom line, okay. So it's talking about a mere ceremony, okay, a class or a rank at school, a sense of a fixed course or study. Okay, in reference to clothing is from 1893, because again it's still talking about clothing back in the Bible, but clothing also can be referenced to a covering, which could be also talking about your epidermis or your skin or your, you know, surface or your face, the face of America, the surface before they were involved. Also, we see form here as a verb, formin, create, give life to, give shape or structure to, make, build, construct is exactly what we're talking about. The whole damn thing got to come down in order for you to get yours. And that's just it. Devise. And again, it could come down or you could walk the fuck away from it. Period. Nobody's ready for that sacrifice. Nobody's ready for sacrificing the way that these people told us that we should be living our lives in order to form a more perfect union amongst us. It seems impossible. Who's going to go first? What do you mean? What do I have to give up? See, formulate, express, draft, create, shape, mold. Okay? So again, you guys can do this on your own. This is nothing special. This is nothing. It's just checking information that has been given to you by your oppressor that wants to not give you certain information or wants to give you a false perception of said stories and things when we're really talking about things that are very important for us to know at least. Okay? So again, I think that's it for form, and we're going to do union, and I'll let you guys go. All of this should be making it, feel different when you read the text, when you're looking at his story. Um, it should really be eye-opening, just these couple of terms that we're doing here. And again, we didn't even make it past the first paragraph. So a union would be an act of joining one thing to another, forming a man from the dirt, the clay. Also an agreement, accord, like on one accord. Okay, crafty counsel. Together they have joined. Okay, a state of matrimony. What? The wedding. The wedding. And the Virgin Mary would represent, it could represent something else, but also could it be representing Virginia as the virgin that wasn't having it at first? But then that's where all of the higher up particular people came, those bloodlines came through there. Or Mary land, which was making merry with everyone and inviting. And it's also right between two particular points, again, on the East Coast. But, I call it the Virgin Mary because those are some of the first places, first families, first this, first that. Okay. So a oneness, a unity, a uniting, even a bundling. Again, the fascism. And again, we'll look at it here. Look at this, because I was looking at this earlier here. Um, okay, because somebody brought this to my attention, then it made me go ahead and start to look a little bit more into this. Okay, so we're looking at this here, this tool or this symbol, and this is fascina. But then here we go. Let's see. And then it talks about a general sense in any long, narrow strip of cloth employed as a bandage. Okay, I thought it said bondage, but newly born children is talking about. It's talking about covering them up from head to toe, and then swallow a woman swaddles her offspring. Kind of even remind me of like a black widow, you know, putting her web around her food or whatever. But anyhow, um, a band worn around. Da, da, da. Okay, so where were we? Mm, let's see. Okay, here. I'm sorry. We were here. Okay. I was doing a video earlier. I think I'm just gonna have to redo it because it kind of ended up going all over the place. But we have this here. Um, that was talking about the cloud capped tower, and that reminded me of the caste system that we always show on the channel, with the cloud at the top and then the pyramid underneath. Okay. And the cloud says God. It says the gorgeous places, the solemn temples. Again, within us, that's also talking about your chakras or your pineal, a higher consciousness, or even elevating to that status and that mindset, right? So again, the Great Globe, and I think that the biblical text is also sharing that information with us in a couple of different books as to saying something about more being within. I mean, I think there's a ton of it, and actually, so the Great Globe itself, yea, all which inherit shall dissolve, and like the baseless fabric. See, now we're talking about that woven, that fabric, that whole thing. And then the baseless. What does that mean? Is that the bottomless pit? Is that the Sheol? Is that the hell that they have you guys trapped in? Okay, mentally and physically. And we may not all make it out of all those different aspects, but at least emotionally, mentally, free yourself. Free yourself. Okay, of a vision, leave not a wreck behind. Okay, so it's also talking about some other stuff here, but this is what I wanted to look at. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat upon it, from whose face the earth and heavens fled away, and there was no place for them. See, again, surface or face could just mean in front of or before, those that were before. So again, is that talking about the heaven and earth that were before their created heaven and earth, or the thing that they formed theirs after? Because again, we know that there was already order, right? But then they came in and started their particular way of doing it. Um, and that's when we were cast out or cut off from being a nation and placed at the bottom of that caste system in hell. Okay. So again, I wanted to show you this, right? Because then how is this leading us back to looking at this? Who is this on the throne? And I don't know, again, maybe some of you guys might be well versed in symbolism or things or gestures or whatever when it comes to some of these secret groups or societies. But the foot forward, maybe you guys can enlighten me a little bit more on that, or what this could possibly mean. Even I'm looking at the way he's holding his hands, because if you have this one like this, why this one like this? And then it's also making me think of even the eagle with the two different things in its grasp. The not floral, but you know what I mean. And then the arrows. Okay. And then here you have right here these sticks bound together. Why wouldn't we want to know what this means? I don't necessarily see the blade off the side of it, but this is the fasces. This is the symbol of this thing, the bundled together sticks, almost like a mummy wrapped or whatever. What is this here for? So then we went into some things right over. Okay, we won't go there because I'm about to get y'all off about what they were saying about people coming fleeing from Lincoln, and just the way they put it is just so rude. It's actually really fucking rude. It really is. So again, action of joining one thing to another, an agreement, again, one accord. All right, oneness, unity. Okay. Also in Latin meaning a single pearl or onion. I don't know. Let's see, one unique sense of act uniting into one political body. Because again, both the fucking wings is on the same damn bird. The brain is on the same bird. Now we do have right brain, left brain thinkers and all that stuff, whatever, when it comes to people, whatever like that. But again, same thing. One side of the brain is more, you have to run that side more than the other. If you're artistic and you use that side of the brain, uh, more serious things may annoy you and you may not want to be there. But again, you still have to access that part of the brain more than the part that is favorable to you. Okay. So meaning group of people or states. Okay, U.S. political sense is attested from 1775, because what all was going on in 1775 that led to 1776 that was consecrated and made holy because it's the seventh day. Used especially during the Civil War. What was really going on? What did they tell you in school? That's a lie, more than likely, or at least 75% of it is, and that we should go and be looking at what really was going on during that war. Because I guarantee you, I've already seen things that it just ain't what they saying it was. And even they people saying that. Okay. So in reference to the remainder of, or a remnant maybe, of the United States after the Southern Succession. So again, we're going to go ahead and leave it off there. Here are some of the related terms to go with that. Let's go ahead and just go back to what we're looking at and finish off this here thing. So it's saying perfect union, okay? Establish justice. For who? For them, because some of these people were the ones that were still being enslaved by your people, again, for coming around, not in the same manner or hateful way, supposedly, but again, it is what it is. To ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common, could we be talking about the commoners? Defense, to defend the commoners, their slaves, their Slavs. Promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. All right. So again, if you're still around, hopefully you're enjoying this. But I have to do one more because it just came up. Domestic. Domesticated, domestic, you know. Okay, so domestic, early 15th century, prepared or made in the house, from Old French domestique, okay, 14th century, all right, belonging to a household. Who's the landlord? From damus, or house, root dem, almost sounded like Democrat, house or household. House, cottage, hut. obscure origin. The title of address to members of religious order. Um, Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese title of respect. Okay. House. Oh, here we go. Right here. Master, Lord, house. Master of the household, Masa. House Lord, Slavnik, Old Church, Slavnik. Enclosed court, property, a homestead. What do you do when you homestead? You raise cattle or animals in order to slaughter them or consume them or take them over or control them or herd them or whatnot. Sometimes you don't always eat every animal that you have on the farm, but they're going to serve as a purpose. You're going to use their essence or something from them in order to keep your things flowing. Okay? Right? So belonging to a household, a house, okay? Uh yeah, belonging to home or household affairs, attached to home, devoted to home life, uh pertaining to a nation, internal to one's country, of animals. See? Tame or civilized, maybe? Living, living creatures under the care of humans. So somebody is under the care of humans. Unfortunately, it's the commoners, peasants, and servants. And those were the people that were freed from the grasp of your ancestors when these people came here. Some of them didn't even want to come back. They wanted to stay with those particular people, but the noun meaning a household servant. So when we're voting, casting our vote, you're basically saying, I know that I'm not a living being. I know, but I am going to go ahead and give all of my life to you in order and give you the reign over me to do as you please. Even though you dog the shit out of me, I'm going to just do it. Originally articles of home manufacture, U.S. usually especially homemade cotton cloth, a revolution and insurrection, spouse abuse, violence in the home. And that's what's going on right now. It's spousal domestic abuse, domestic terrorism. Ain't that the term they was using for that shit that happened over there? Ain't that the new term that they using now? Domestic terrorism? I could be mistaken. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion. So again, what mind games they playing with you, making us think that Trump is for us? What are we really saying? Because really what they're doing is just pulling the strings on a puppet to make you, to confuse you and lead you in each way when no way is probably the right way. Walk away. I'm just saying, because they're using mind games, they're using reverse psychology, things like this. Because again, what would they be protecting them from is you maybe invading their privacy even and going into the real things that were going on, or going ahead and talking about this abuse that's going on in the homeland. Against invasion and on application of legislature or, excuse me, of the executive, when the legislature cannot be convened, or convened, sorry, against domestic violence. Now, what is that talking about? Hmm. Domestic violence. What's going on right now, y'all? What's going on and what that got to do with this? What it got to do with this? That's all. That's all. Because I know somebody knows more than this than me. Maybe they just haven't been led in this direction. I know we out there. I know we out there to be able to put this shit together two and two and spread this message and share the truth in order to wake our people up. I don't even know what else to do. We're going to have to do something different. They want to keep doing the same thing. We're going to have to do something different in order to get to these particular people. Um, I don't know. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. Thank you for the support. Thank you for joining the group. A lot of people are coming into the group. Um, and again, I know I've been hearing some things about some people coming in. I try to go through and vet through accounts as best as possible when I'm um, uh, letting people in. But again, I think some people are able to sneak into the group. I don't know why they would want to do that in the first place. But anyway, if you find somebody doing something like that, you can also message me on Facebook or tag me or something, because I'm trying to keep up with just comments even, and I can't even really always do that. So yeah, you can contact me on my now I may not let everybody in as a friend on my personal page, which is Shay Seeking, but you can absolutely, I think, message me there. Okay. So again, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. You can also reach me on Instagram at Shay_Seeking. If you want to report somebody in the group, and because I'm not sure if you have a direct link there, or you could just report it. I think you can just report it, and then I'll get it. Okay. But anyhow, sorry. Thanks a lot and take care. I hope this is benefiting someone. I hope, even if it's just freeing your mind, you know what I'm saying? That's good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's a beautiful thing to be aware, at least. You know what I'm saying? The last thing I would want to be is someone that is not in tune, at least, with what's going on, a little bit, at least, going blindly or being like led like sheep to the slaughter. So, and that's the last thing I want for any of you. But I know we can't save everyone and we can't wake up everyone, and it's just too much going on. And, this is what they need in order to keep us separated, divided, and not paying attention. So, I love you guys and take care.